this team, we're going to stand together and fight this disease.
I come this way before, traveled through the open door. Circumstances navigated the path, and life happened all so fast. No, it got lonely sometimes. You see, I know we couldn't make it. Even when I'm offbeat, I still land on my feet, and nothing can shake me, cause I know life took a hold on me. I never. This is where I am destined to be. I'm not ready to give up. I believe in the miracle of life. Life's a break with no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games can play, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a liar. I'm telling you the truth. It's only what you do. Some things you gotta do. It's fight for millions. Take a second, see the blessing in it. With much expected, much is given. When I made the living, now I'm giving back to children. Never let the power come first before your happiness. Yes, you can be the best if you go the distance. Mix a little sweat with your persistence. You know that the best things are never instant. Just shine up, let them see your brilliance. Get up, open up your eyes now. It's the moment of truth. No backing down. We're bringing it tonight. For the children, it's a given. You gotta give it, be a blessing.
This my personal statement. Run the game like I'm ASICs. Learn to develop patience, determined to be the greatest. Yeah, bobbing and weaving, they changing up like the seasons. Indigenous to the grind, so I do it for all my people. Jabbing the competition, back up against the ropes. You fighting for recognition, I'm fighting just to promote equality where we lacking. Or cancer slowing our road. I'm confident we'll make it. We focus on common goals. Yeah.
Give back, give love, giving something away. Never give up, stand tall to fight another day. 2 toes, 2 feet, I stand on the ground. I'm going back soon and fight this final round. Life's a break with no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games can play, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a liar. Telling you the truth, it's only what you do. Some things you gotta do. I'm gonna share all that I have and give to those in need.
What's up? Don't forget. It's DB's birthday tonight. Hey, it's DB's birthday. It's DB's birthday, man. And let me change. Okay, I'll do that in a second. And don't forget to subscribe, Cash App, and what else? Oh, and the film 9 Wives. Do not forget to watch it, purchase it. You know, all the links are in the description box. So I'm gonna push out your see if I can still do. I'm gonna play the song one more time. Let me edit this stuff one more time, so I can put the Cash App instead.
Cancer is killing, millions and millions
So I can.
of people. Me and my team, along with Sam Watson and his team, we're going to stand together and fight this disease.
Come this way before.
Travel through the open door. Circumstances navigated the path.
If I can
and life
edit it.
happened all so fast. No, it got lonely sometimes. You see, I know we couldn't make it. Even when I'm offbeat, I still stand on my feet, and nothing can shake me, 'cause I know life took a hold of me. I never. This is where I am destined to be. I'm not ready to give up. I believe in the miracle of life. Life's a break for no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games to play, can't take it personal.
The devil is a lie.
Tell you the truth. It's all in what you do. Some things you gotta do. Expect the millions.
Come on, I can't.
See the blessing in it. With much expected, much is given. When I made the living, now I'm giving back to children. Never let the cows fight first before you happiness. Yes, you can be the best if you go the distance. Mix a little sweat with your persistence. You know that the best things are never instant. Just shine, let them see it brilliant. Get up, open up your eyes now. It's the moment of truth. No backing down. Get up, open up your eyes now. It's the moment of truth. For the children, it's a given. You gotta give it, be a blessing.
This my personal statement. Run the game like I'm ASICs. Learn to develop.
All right, there we go. We good. We good, man. Don't forget. It's DB's birthday. Hit him high. We hit him up. And I appreciate y'all coming in here tonight. And where's the buttons, man? Act like I ain't never been here before, man. What's up, man? I appreciate y'all coming in here tonight. Thank you, man. And man, so I just got word, man. Some more man. We gonna jump into Manny Pacquiao and Coach Kam coming. I know she's a big fan of Manny Pacquiao, so we'll jump into that topic when she comes in here. I probably got 5 or 10 minutes. But at the end of the day, man, did y'all see the Charles Conwell story that I just got it? I just got it maybe an hour ago. He faked an injury. Did y'all hear that? He faked an injury to get more money from his promoter. Did y'all hear about that yet? Let me read it to y'all. Let me read it. Someone just sent it to me an hour and a half ago. Oh man. Here's what it says. Charles Conwell tells ESPN he faked a hand injury to withdraw from an April 8th NBCSN main event versus Ivan Golub on the advice of his manager, David McWater. The reason he was due to make $80,000, double the purse on Triller versus Mark DeLuca. McWater denies. Crazy, right? Craziness, man. This is insane, man. Insane, dog. Goddamn sane, man. Well, we can't win for losing, man. We cannot win for losing, man. So we'll talk about that before Coach Kam gets in here. And I'm very interested in what y'all got to say about that, man. Obviously, his promoter denies it. So I'm very interested. I was DMing. So it's just insane. It's just insane, man. I'm just tired of this cheating. I'm tired of the lies. Fans being hogwashed. I'm telling you, we need to take our money out of boxing, dog. We need to become opportunists. You know what I mean? Take all our money out of boxing, man. Instead of watching it on Showtime, stream it off of a site. You know what I mean? Instead of watching Fox on Channel 11, watch it on one of your other things, man, so they don't get the credits. They're like, oh man, if you want to watch boxing, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I think that it's time for us to stand up on some level. I don't know what the level is that we want to do as a collective, because I hate PPD, because I done tried it by myself and look where we're at. I think if I would have had well, my platform wasn't as big, I'll say that, but I think if I would have had the people behind me when y'all know what I was doing, I think we could have made some headway. But now it's time, man. They slapping us in the face far too much, man. I got the wrong water open. They smacking us far too much, and it's time for us to stand up. It's time for us to stand up, and I'm just tired of them saying they can do whatever they want and then come back the next week. And so McWaters can just come back next week and promote another fighter, whether it's true or not. You know what I mean? Shit. I mean, in America, you guilty till proven innocent, right? Hey. Whatever the barbershop want to do, I'm with it. All right. Whatever we can agree upon in the month of August, whatever y'all want to do in September or October moving forward. No, all of them. I was just using that as an example. All of them. ESPN, Triller, all of them. As my boy from Jacksonville say, all of them. No, all of them. You know what I mean? We need to share sites so they don't get our viewership credit. You know what I mean? Stop paying for these tickets to go to fights. Stop paying for these tickets to go to fights. You know what I mean? Stop buying these pay-per-views. Don't do it. All right? Just stop. In all. I'm just saying. It's time for the. How the hell can they do what they did to Michael Fox in broad daylight? They ain't even do it at 12:01. Well, they did do it at 12:01 p.m. instead of 12:01 a.m. So it's time. It's definitely time, and I'm here to stand with y'all. And I know it's going to impact some of our favorite fighters, but I'm willing to bet our favorite fighters will understand. All right, I understand it, but it's time. It's time for the fans to stand up. It's time. I know everybody gonna say, well, let's do it October 10th. I already know. I'm willing to do what the people want to do. I'll make a personal call to Deontay Wilder and let him know what we're doing. He will gladly understand. You understand? I have no qualms. I'm a big picture guy anyway, you know. But it's time. It's definitely time. How the hell can he say he can just say so casually, I'm not mad at the kid. Well, I'm mad at the kid too because he shouldn't have took that advice. But I'm saying he can just, I don't know, but it felt like, man, it feels like he's mad at his promoter and not disappointed he let the fans down. You get what I'm saying? I feel like he's trying to get back at his promoter instead of saying, you know, I let the fans down. He didn't say I let the fans down. I disrespected the sport of boxing. He's attacking his promoter. You understand? So so at the end of the day, man, box fans, happy birthday, DB. You know what I mean? So it's just you know, I'm not doing this alone. All right, I learned my lesson about that. You know what I mean? You know, so this is twice in 10 days where we've had evidence that boxing really loves you, H-Dog. It really loves you, J.A. Dixon. You know what I mean? And some of y'all about to fall in love with Coach Cam. You know what I mean? She about to pop in here any moment, any second. You know what I mean? And but yeah, man, appreciate you, box fans, man. Holla at your boy, man. Y'all see us pinned up in the chat, man. Holla at your boy, man. Why not? You know what I mean? Why not, man? He comes up here and, you know, I don't pay DB enough. You know what I mean? PPD and DB are underpaid. You know what I mean? I ain't got a check from this channel and God knows how long. We all underpaid. So take my underpaidness and support DB. All right. How about we do that? And then next March, right? Next March, we do the same thing for PPD. How about we do all of that? All right. Let's do that. All right. And let's rock out. So he'll come in and give his thank yous, man. Leave your name in the comment box. You know what I mean? For your boy, leave your name there. And not that one. I don't want that one there. I want that one there. And we'll do it like that. We'll do it 3 times. You know what I mean? And so that's where we're at with it. And yeah, so I'm just excited to be here, man. And let me tell you about that 11 o'clock, ending the show at 11 o'clock. What a difference. Wow, I was so much more alert this morning. True, April, my bad. I knew it was in the springtime. PPD. Let me know when you're ready, Coach Cam. Let me know when you're ready. Give me a thumbs up or something. We'll rock and roll. She's ready. How you doing, Coach Cam? Turn your phone the other way. You know they want to see all of you.
I don't know how to like the way my
Just
desk
turn it.
sits
Just turn it the long way. Yeah, just turn it the long way.
like this.
See? Now you gotta just point it up a little bit. Now you gotta point it up, tilt it a little bit more.
Ain't this a hot mess? Look at this. Like that.
Yeah, see now you're good. See now you can do any interview anywhere in the world now.
Can I go like this?
Yep. Now we see your hands swelling. How you doing?
No.
How you been?
Man, I've been busy. A good busy. So yeah.
Yeah, the last time we spoke, you hung up on me.
No. Wait a minute now. Hold on.
I was like, was it the beer? What was it?
No, my phone overheated, and
I
I was
know,
like,
I
I
know.
gotta get me a new phone, yo.
PPD told me, and thank you for coming back. Thank you for coming back. So I saw you on Ellie's video. You went and saw Manny Pacquiao work out?
I tried to stalk Manny, because Lord knows I love that man, right?
Do you really? Do you really? Tell us about it.
I'm a huge fan. Let me show you. Look. That's all
Okay.
Manny right there.
That's all Manny. Okay.
It's
And-
a hot mess.
And he's definitely worthy of it, man. I posted on my social medias the other day. I was like, man, what a humanitarian that man is.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? He had thousands out there, huh? Thousands of people out there? Hundreds?
There were definitely at least hundreds of people out there. That was like a spectacle. So he does that for our people, though. It's expected.
Yeah, it's well deserved, man. And I was saying, Only Dad's podcast said he gets it. He's flying in Friday. Are you going to the fight?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm having a fight party though. I mean, it's only right. It's only right that I have a fight party and I invite the entire Filipino community and everyone else, of course. So yeah.
Okay. Well, Only Dad podcast is flying in at about 11 o'clock on Friday, and he had a bet in the shop, but you know, I mean, it fell through because of Earl Spence eye injury. Talk about that, man. Was there a letdown on your part? I haven't spoken to a Manny Pacquiao fan yet about this. Was it a let?
Yeah, I actually wanted to see that fight happen. As big of a Manny Pacquiao fan as I am, I believe that Errol Spence would have really given him a hard time for sure. Excuse me. I feel like, just because of the type of fighter that Errol is, I believe that would have been a very, very hard fight for Manny. Now, I'm not counting Manny out, but not to say this isn't going to be a hard look for Manny either, but I thought that fight would have been really, really great for it to happen, especially with talks of Manny retiring. I would have wanted him to retire fighting Errol.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Now, would that make you believe that he'll come back for another fight in another 3 years?
Yeah, I do. Somebody with a bigger name, I would say. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good. Oh, because we got tickets for sale in the shop. Patty Deans, she bought tickets. She's selling her ticket. I'm selling my ticket, and we got 3 tickets for sale in the barbershop. So if anybody's interested in buying tickets, holla at us. You know what I mean? And when is the election in the Philippines for president?
Oh, I don't know. I thought Manny was the president.
Well, he basically is. He's definitely the people's champ. You know what I mean?
Right. He runs the whole country.
Man, it's beautiful to see people like waiting on his run route. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said this before. In the Philippines, the crime rate is really high, especially in the poor parts. But when Manny fights, it all stops.
He's a crime stopper.
The crime will stop. Granted, it's only for a few hours, but it stops. That's the impact he has on people. So.
Right. So you say you've been rather busy. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone is rather interested for various reasons. Why you been so busy?
I got a whole stable of fighters now. I mean, I'm not sure if you're familiar of I have a coach now. He's my head coach. His name is Trevor Zambrano. He's actually been in the Canelo camp. He's worked with a lot of world champion coaches like Manny Robles, and you know, he brought in a whole stable of fighters for me. So now I'm actually in a professional camp. My boys are fighting September 5th in Dubai. So that's the first thing that's going on my list right now.
You going to Dubai?
Yes, I am.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You're fighting
Yeah.
on what is it called? The promotion company? Oh,
What
Legacy?
I believe that's the name of the promotional company. I know that oh my gosh, what is that man's name? I speak to the promoter almost every day because of my passport. But I believe that's the name of it. It is in Dubai. It's at the La Pearl. The place is being headlined at the fight is being headlined at the La Pearl.
Mhm.
And I have Lawrence King. He is gonna be on there. And I mean, if you guys don't know, Lawrence is he's an amazing fighter. IQ is like at a 10 when it comes to boxing, and he is Canelo's main sparring partner. So he is fighting in Dubai September 5th. And then Tatum Beltran, who's also professional, he's also fighting in Dubai. He's also another amazing fighter. Both destined to be world champions. So
That's dope.
yeah, it's been a great road for sure.
Now, when you say head coach, so what role would you play?
I am the assistant, and I do take care of the boys' nutrition, their recovery, and a little bit of the strength and conditioning.
Why did you choose to be the assistant, not the head coach?
Listen, as someone who's still learning, being in a corner of a sparring match or being in the corner of an amateur fight is completely different from being in the corner of a professional fight. I am learning as I go along. And for me to be like, no, I want to take the role as a head coach just because I want to say that or I want to do that, I think would be selfish on a fighter's part, because I have never been placed in that position. So I think me taking the role as an assistant coach and learning as I go along on the job and prepping myself for that stage is so much more of a smarter move for me to do.
Wow. If you know, if you want, you could take us behind the scenes. You could take the barbershop behind the scenes, and when you're in Dubai, you could send me videos through WhatsApp, and we will gladly post it. And you'll get a few thousand views off of it, and it'll build your brand. You know, you're more than welcome to do that. You know, and
thank you.
Yeah, because it's all about brand building, and when they see you moving like that. Now when you come back to America, they're like, oh, Coach Kam, you know, I seen her on the boxing place. I seen her in the barbershop, you know.
Yes.
Now you rocking and roll. Now the fighter's gonna be like, I want to train with her.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah. Congratulations. How did that come about? Take us behind the scenes. How does that work?
Dubai?
Yeah, how does that work? How does that work?
So phone calls were made, you know, we sold the boys and they got the gig, basically is how it goes. You know, Trevor knows a lot of people, Lawrence knows a lot of people, a lot of connections were made, and we were blessed enough to get this opportunity. My boys were blessed enough to get this opportunity to showcase their talents on a big stage in Dubai. So
yeah, Money in the Ghetto says you got to bring Trevor on. So Trevor was the
Trevor is right here. If y'all want to talk to him, Trevor is right here.
No, we want you right now, but we'll gladly say hi. We'll gladly say hi to Trevor, but PPD will gladly schedule Trevor, you know, but he's more than welcome to come in and say hi, because they would call me a hater if I said, yeah, bring Trevor on. You know what I mean? I don't want to be called a hater or nothing like that. You know what I mean? People always asking, you need help with the mitts. You know what I mean? They say you've had a long day. Do you need any help? I'm not sure if you can see the chat, but the chat is definitely slanting towards your side, you know.
Oh yeah, you know, there are moments where I wish I had like 6 hands. Bye, baby. I know, I'm sorry, one of my fighters. I had like 6 hands so I could just rest 2 and go to the next 2, rest these 2 and then go. Like, it's hard, and it's taking a toll on my shoulders for sure.
Now you just set these guys up for the comeback lines, right? You know what, you know, you just set these guys. If I had I got 2 for you.
What? Oh my goodness.
So let's talk about the fight Saturday. Ugas and Spence. I mean, Ugas and Pacquiao. How do you see that fight playing out?
I think I think Ugas is going to give Manny a hard time. Not as hard as Errol would give Manny, but I still think Manny is going to come out on top. I think Manny is going to take the win. And you know, if he does, I feel like he will come back for a bigger fight and then he'll retire. But me and the head coach were actually just talking about that earlier. He also believes that Ugas is going to give Manny a difficult look. But all in all, I think Manny, you know, he looks sharp still. He looks sharp. He looks great. When I went to his media workout at Griffith Park, you know, he had took his shirt off and he looks cut. My goodness, like his weight cut looks great on him. He looks
Wait,
fast. He still looks like he's got it. So yeah, I think he's gonna take this one for the
he's
for the hometown.
he's never been
Hmm?
over 147. I've never seen him over 147. He always weighs in at 145. You know, 145. He's
Right.
never. Yeah, he does a great job with his weight. He does an extraordinary job. Give
Hold
us
on,
the.
wait. Come here, Trev. I know you want to say something. Ugas, and Pacquiao. Who you think is gonna win? No, you gotta come in the chair. Trev, come on, you gotta. I want you to meet Fred. Fred be picking on me sometimes. Come here, Trev. Meet my head coach. Hold on, right there. No.
Break it down for us, Trev. Trev, break it down for us.
It's a very
How you-
difficult fight. Ugas obviously, you know, he sets up his offense in a very tricky way. He's very difficult with his head movement. We know the Sean Porter fight was a very difficult fight. You know, I'm glad that I wasn't a judge. That was a hell of a fight that they had. The truth is that I don't know if Ugas is going to be that much easier of a look than Earl. Not to say that Earl was an easy look. It's just to say it's a very difficult matchup. Obviously, a lot of us are pulling for Manny because he's a living legend. I mean, for God's sakes, he's out there. He's still fighting, and he's still fighting young men that are in their prime. So the fact is that with Earl's, stepping down and Ugas stepping up for the opportunity, if I really had to pick someone, my heart is going to go with Manny. But logically, I'm kind of looking at Ugas, and I think that Ugas probably
Really,
yeah, just
really.
because I
Why?
don't think.
Tell us.
When you look at Ugas, he does besides what Salah's brought to the table with them as far as making him more trickier. I mean, Sean Porter and Ugas, they had a hell of a fight. No one wants to fight Sean Porter. Sean Porter's just he's basically like a bowling ball, right? He's going to come over there. I don't give you're not going to look good against him. Think about the Sean Porter fight with the Earl fight. Earl didn't look spectacular in that fight. It just so happened that if I correct, it's been a long time since I saw the fight. But Earl dropped him in one of the later rounds, and that was sort of the defining, factor that Earl got the win against Sean. We'll look at the Ugas and the Sean fight. That I know styles make matchups, but there's something about the way that Ugas works his offense. He's very good with the slips. He's very, he'll move him with one direction, fade out to the other direction, let his shit go, and the next time he might move one direction, go the other direction, then go the other direction, and hide his attentions and let his shit go. He reminds me of Castano. With the way that Charlo set his shit up, which is he's a craftsman. There's a lot of old school shit that he has. There's a lot of tricks that come with the trade with them, and I just don't know if it's going to be an easy night. Now that being said, Manny's a fucking living legend, and we obviously know that he's aged, but he hasn't really aged like that. Whatever he's doing, he's living a great life, and I know that he's a religious man and. He's probably treating his body right. And he's also a man with a lot of responsibility, being that he's in the government and so forth. But, yeah, looking at that matchup, it's still something to be said, which is they're putting him in there with a young lion or a guy that's still in his prime. Now, I know Ugas has 4 losses. Obviously he lost to Sean. I believe he lost to Emmanuel Robles a long time ago. But he had, 3 losses sort of early on. The Sean loss, I thought, should have been a draw. So, putting that all aside, I still think it's just a very difficult fight. It's the same thing with Earl. I thought that Earl was going to win the fight because everything on paper says that Earl should. But if you ask me if, with my heart is going to go with Manny because Manny's a fucking, he's a living legend. So.
Is there any comparable opponent for Manny Pacquiao as it pertains to Ugas? I've been trying, but I haven't had a success at it.
That's tricky like that. That's a very good question. Ugas works his offense pretty tricky. I don't think that people give enough credit for him. You know, the way that Salas teaches the shit, not to say that I completely know, but just as an outside observer, as a trainer, I got to be a fan of the trainers and not just a fan of the fighters as well, to see how they go about his offense. He's very difficult with the way that he sets his stuff up. I'm trying to think, has Manny seen anybody like that? No, I know Manny's sparred some guys that were like that back then.
Sure.
Like he used to spar Urbano Antion, who had a hell of a fight with Soto back in the day. But Urbano Antion is barely a name that, you know, he was a good fighter, but he's not what Ugas is. Ugas is more than a good fighter, right? I'm not going to say he's super great, but he's a guy that you can go back and study tape on. And that's something to be said about that, because there's a lot of fighters out there that you're not going to look at their craft and appreciate what they're doing or appreciate what their coaches are cooking up. You totally can appreciate what Salas and Ugas got going on, and you can learn from those guys, which is to say that they're craftsmen. So I'm not going to go back, you know, no disrespect to Urbano Antion or anybody that was involved on this team, but I'm not going to go back and look at any Antion fights. Although I think I did look at Antion and Soto just because it's a classic Mexican fight where they're just sort of in the shoebox. But you're not gonna go study it. Craft wise, I don't know if Manny's been in there with someone that is tricky as him in a while, and it's you know, obviously, you know, Manny's seen everybody, but Ugas has definitely got some shit with him. I don't. That's just, you know, listen, Sean Porter and Kenny, obviously his father, you know, these are guys too. They're craftsmen. You know, look at what Sean did. Sean, for the most part, was known as a bowling ball. But, you know, it's also to say that Sean's boxing literally, you know, grew exponentially. Like, he became a much better boxer than he was. He has a super wide array of a skill set that he can bring to the table. And like I said, if I was scoring the fight, I would have probably scored it a draw. I thought it was a very close fight. Now, I know styles make matchups. You know, I don't want to reiterate that bullshit again. You know, tough fights.
Yeah, and before you go, DB may have one question for you too. But Only Dad's podcast said Manny Pacquiao going to TK Ugas in the 10th round, and only you can respond to that. Manny have fought every style of fighter.
I agree. Manny's definitely fought every style of fighter out there. But it's something about, you know, styles make everything in a sort of cerebral way that they go about approach. Listen, I had a fighter. One of my fighters actually sparred Castano that I worked with Charlo. And if anybody would ask me, you know, I'd say, hey, look, Castano is absolutely not a pushover. The guy has got some shit with him. He knows how to set his shit up. He's a very cerebral guy. He's very smart. The thing about boxing is that, especially for the fans out there, everybody out there, is sometimes you got to you have to let pragmatism sort of reign. Now, when I'm talking about these things, like I said, you know, Manny or arguably we could be having a discussion. He has the most accolades of any fighter ever in history. I mean, you're talking about 8 different divisions, or, you know, he's a fucking monster, right? So we know that he's a living legend, but sometimes we have to put that you know, that shit aside, and we have to sort of discuss the matchup. I only say it just because it's gonna be a difficult matchup, and it's also to say the acumen of Salas too. Salas is not you know, this guy was a Cuban national coach. He's done a hell of a job with every fighter that he puts his hands on. You know, Jorge Linares looked incredible with him. So, Trevor, who wins with Ashton versus Shakur in 1 year? That's a hell of a question. Yeah, so obviously Shakur Stevenson is an incredible fighter. They're asking about Ashton H2O Silv, who's also an incredible fighter. He only has 4 fights. You know, it's another young man. If nobody's had the chance to look at Ashton H2O Silv fight yet, they absolutely should. They're gonna be mad at themselves if they didn't, because it's like one of those things where you get to look at your friend and say, I've been on this. I've been knowing.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, anybody out there that get an opportunity to look at this young man, he's a special young man. As far as matching up with Shakur in a year, you know, I might say that probably that's not going to happen. But he's definitely a young guy out there. He turned pro at 16. He has 4 wins. He's 17 now, and definitely expect to be a household name in the future. So,
what role did you play in Canelo's camp?
So Canelo, you know, he had it ended up being a really good relationship. We had Lawrence out there to help for Billy Joe Saunders. Lawrence also was out there to help with Danny Jacobs, right? So we know Danny Jacobs switches sometimes to southpaw. The role, I have a really good working relationship with Eddie and those people, because there's, I was there. It wasn't just that I was there with Canelo. I also had my heavyweight working with Andy Ruiz when Andy Ruiz was getting ready for Chris Arreola. So I'm in there 6 days a week, and which they're in there 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday.
Wow.
So, I'm pretty much living in San Diego. They got us in a great condo. Like I said, I got my big working with Andy Ruiz, and I got Lawrence King working with Canelo. My big his name is Amir too, the Pharaoh. Not to leave his name out of it, but yeah. With the great thing about, I got so many great stories about Canelo. I think one of the things that was most incredible about Canelo is that he'll sit down and explain anything to anybody. He's a really, really giving guy. I have one of my fighters from New York out there, from the Bronx, Nehemiah Williams, and he's just a young fighter. He's only 3-0, and he sat down and it would show him things and so forth. And the other thing that I can say about Canelo, which I thought was incredible, was that when we were being successful against him, Canelo, there's one story I think that's kind of cool. Canelo came over to the corner so that he can hear the instructions that I was giving the fighter when we were having just success in that moment. Not to say that we were having success overall, right? But we're getting something done in that moment. And the fighter looked at me and he said, "Stop talking. He's over here to listen to us, to the instructions." Mm-hmm. And Canelo looked at me and smiled in like this nefarious way, right? Mm-hmm. And so you hear about these stories with Kobe, you hear about these stories with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
The guy's great. And you kind of bring that in there, and that was this Canelo moment. Another thing too is one time we were doing something, and he sort of asked afterwards, why, what was happening. So Canelo is absolutely a student. I'll tell you another funny story. Bob Foster is this old school fighter that used to do these like really ridiculous feints, like jerking and shit.
Yeah.
So we're fucking around, and we're sparring. I said, "Do the Bob Foster." And Canelo looked over and he goes, "I know Bob Foster," and he started doing it back. But Bob Foster, for the average boxing guy, people aren't going to know who Bob Foster is. But Bob Foster, for people out there that really know boxing, it's like knowing Niccoloni Loci or something. Like you're really going to have to be a boxing guy to know that. That guy, probably when you hear about stories of Jordan, you hear stories about Kobe, about them knowing tapes, about them knowing percentages and statistics. This is a guy that really knows his shit. Outside of that, obviously, it was an incredible opportunity to be in there with Eddie. The thing that and Canelo and Andy and everybody else. The thing that I walked away with it, which was that we needed to all be better. We all needed to be more serious about our craft, more disciplined and more diligent, and also know that if you expect greatness, that comes with repetition and just getting in there and doing the same shit over and over again. Because I assure you, that's what they're doing. And the thing about that guy, he's not a prima donna at all. If it's 10 o'clock, he shows up at 10 o'clock every day, walks in, shakes everybody's hand, goes, changes, talks, goes and gets stretched out and goes right to work. It's every day is the same day over and over again. I can tell you that. So when you hear him say it, he's not just capping. So,
okay. And my final question before DB, and so we give Canelo hell in the shop. When I say hell, and DB will gladly bring the reign. But before I hand over the reins to DB, plant Canelo.
Yeah, difficult fight. Listen, the thing that I like about Caleb, just to be honest with you, is another guy that's just ultimately dedicated to his craft. Well, I was over at City Vegas, and we were there probably. We were in Vegas a couple times in the last 3 months.
Wow.
Same thing with Caleb. If you're at City Boxing and you go to City Boxing,
he's always
Caleb,
there.
There's going to be a window there that Caleb's there and he's not just there for an hour. Caleb ain't showing up for 90 minutes. Caleb's not going to be there for 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Caleb is going to be spending 3 to 4 hours of his day inside the gym, and there's a conversation, and there's a very intellectual part of it. There's a very cerebral part of it, and they're sitting there and they're talking and they're strategizing. Because strategies, I think, for the most part, when you're looking at trainers, and Justin Gambler's a hell of a trainer, I don't think that people give enough, Caleb's trainer, give him enough credit, right? Especially what they got cooking. And in some ways, it too mirrors what Eddie and Canelo had cooking, right? Because although Eddie's went on to have more accolades, but it still has that youthfulness to it. And you can see that there's that same sort of sediment. when a matchup like this happens, it's very exciting for me. Obviously, the one thing that I could tell you, the one defining factor that I could tell you that I think that is something to keep in high regard is the oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? But basically, like how stable and sturdy Canelo is. He's an incredible sturdy guy.
I can see that.
He's a very, 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 very powerful guy. I don't know if he's going to be shaken that easy. Now, however, putting all that shit aside, I tell you what, looking at Saunders and looking at Canelo and looking at Caleb and looking at Canelo, I'll tell you, I don't know if they're negotiating the size of ring, but I wouldn't want to see I wouldn't want not to see Plant in that ring with Canelo. Plant knows how to dictate his space. He's also way more educated with his feet. You don't see him doing a lot of not to say that when Caleb moves, he's the type of cat that when he moves, there's intention to everything.
Sure.
And so when you have a dude that's moving, he's slipping one way and then, pivots and slipping one way, then he falls out the other way and he attacks you from that direction. Or if he's bowing one way and he's thinking bowing, he up jabs you and then he swings you the other way and hits you with a hook. He's a very educated guy. The thing that I think could be a very kind of a strategic matchup, which I'm excited to see, is how they're both going to handle their distance, because they're both very, very, just the acumen for distance that they have is just fucking incredible, right? They're both good at controlling the pace. They're both good at offsetting each other. They're both good with controlling the clock. They'll shoot a hard jab, step off, feint you. This is shit that Caleb does, versus maybe something what Canelo does is he might, squat, get under your jab, feint you, take you off to the side, measure you, so forth. So I don't know. I will say this about Canelo, though. Obviously, Canelo's had some hell of experience out there with guys that he's faced. Gosh, him and Manny Pacquiao are the only active fighters that have faced as many Hall of Famers as they have on the game. As far as, we had to put Floyd on the side. Obviously, Floyd is Floyd, but he's fighting, not knocking him, but he's fighting social media people, which I totally understand. He's a living legend. Good.
Oh, you got a phone call. You got to wait. You got a phone call. Can't hear you. Okay, now you're back. Now you're back. Go ahead.
As far as that, what we got going on with Canelo Plant, difficult matchup. If I had to pick one, I'm probably going to lean towards Canelo. But I also could tell you what, I've studied. This is how I usually go about it. Have I studied some Caleb Plant? Absolutely. Do I use Caleb Plant as an example for my fighters to look at all the time? Caleb's an incredible fighter. Do I use Canelo as an example? Sure. Can I say that I lean on one more than the other? Not.
Oh, she popular. Oh, she popping over there. She get when you get the phone calls.
Yeah.
That's
scam shit.
No one calls my. Cam, tell them to call back after 11. My office hours are from 9 to 5. But I'm talking. They're not gonna get that joke.
So, who do you got on it? Just out of curiosity, Caleb.
I'm rooting for Caleb hard. Like I'm rooting for Caleb hard. If I'm a betting man, because of the business of boxing and Canelo's activity, I would bet Canelo. My heart is definitely with Caleb Plant 100%. But
watch them get prepared. I'm telling you something.
If they sign him to a if PBC signs Canelo to a 3-fight deal, Caleb Plant ain't got no chance. I'm just gonna say that now. If he got 114 versus Floyd, he'll be back in a second. If he got 5 heartbeats, 9 to 5, 9 to 5. My office hours are from 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Anyway, shout out to the people. We all grew up together, just in different homes and zip codes. You know what I mean, DB? And
sorry about that. Yes.
So what I'm saying is if we know that PBC signed Canelo to a 3-fight deal, before the fight, Caleb Plant has no chance. I'm just gonna say that it's just no way Caleb's gonna win this fight. Not unless he knocks him down 2 or 3 times, just literally dominates. But it's still gonna be a split decision. So, and that's the business of boxing.
It's a difficult fight that they got going on too. It's also this because obviously you're in your position, you're in boxing media, as well as everybody else out there. For the people that don't know, You know, there's a lot of shit, a lot of engineering of the narrative that comes along with this.
Fred, tell them Lawrence is logging in right now.
Yeah, Lawrence is going to log in right now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Perfect.
As far as them, you know, even with the Saunders fight and the Canelo fight, I'll be honest with you, I thought that Saunders was being hunted the whole time. I thought the way that it was being reported by people at Matchroom and DAZN, as far as they were when they were announcing the fight, is they're like, oh, Saunders is coming on. I said Saunders is like a dead man in the water, and but that they were probably looking for maybe the hopes that it would be a draw or even an upset so they can get the rematch because that's what's best for business.
Right.
If you got PBC signing Canelo, like you said, we're talking about that's a lot of money right there. We're talking about 150 to 250 million, maybe even more, right? Maybe 300 million. So that's a lot of fucking money. No one wants to put the fork in the road on that shit. And these are just, you know, things that happen in boxing, and I think that to talk about them out in open is okay, just so folks, you know, do know, and hopefully that whoever is the winner, that we see a clear, you know, win right down the middle. So. You know, not to say to take that anything away from either one of the fighters is A side, but these things exist, and you know, that's the real thing. But to be just knowing Canelo's character as a person, and the guy's highly competitive. I think all greats were. I used to be around Shane Mosley a little bit. That guy was so competitive. He'd play quarters against you against the wall. Oh, you know, until he kept winning. If you mentioned snowboarding, he said, "Let's go snowboarding right now." You ever do the park? If you know basketball, these guys that are the alpha males, they're just highly competitive dudes.
Fred.
So.
Yes.
Can more than one person be on this interview? Right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lawrence is logging in right now.
I see him right now. I see him right now. DB, go ahead.
First things first, man. I want to talk about the great Canelo Alvarez.
Oh, you woke him up, Trev. I'm about to sit back and enjoy this.
Oh,
hey, Lawrence, you might want to sit back and enjoy this one right now.
Y'all can see me?
Yeah, we can see you. Yeah.
I can't see nobody.
Well, it's called. Yeah,
we see you.
We see you great.
Man. All right. How y'all doing?
Yeah, I want to know. You know, Canelo Alvarez is a really solid boxer, man. The great Canelo Alvarez. But you know, when guys are working in camps with him, they usually seem to kind of twist the truth or to be a little timid and shy about speaking the truth about the PED usage. So I want to ask you, how do you feel about steroid abusers, and do you hold anything against Canelo Alvarez for being a steroid cheat?
I don't know the truth behind it, so I can't say nothing about it. Hey, but Canelo is a phenomenal fighter, so can't hold nothing against him. If he took steroids, shame on him. But I don't really know.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing. Obviously, there's a lot of abuse in the sport. I mean, for me to point one finger against, you know, as someone, at the end of the day, I leave that stuff up to the commission. I try to stay out of hearsay. Obviously, if someone's entering a contract with Canelo being in Canelo's position, I'd hope that they, you know, have one of their things that says, hey, that we want to have, you know, one of these outside governing bodies like Floyd used to look or used to use as far as testing for that kind of stuff. But shit, I don't know, because it's sort of out of my scope. And to be honest with you, being so intimate with boxing, I hear about people all the time using stuff. But shit, until someone is pissed hot, who am I to say? So.
Yeah, well, one thing I want to clear up real quick is that it wasn't speculation. It was proven through science that he studied needle fast. But he had a suspension that came, and the suspension was for 6 months. So do you think that a person who is convicted and guilty of cheating should only be suspended for 6 months? Or
I mean, like I said, I'm not in a position to make those kind of calls, but for example, I know Roy Jones Jr. pissed hot one time too. I doubt a lot of people, we're not going to look back at Roy Jones and probably take him to task on it. There's just shit out there. There's just a lot of things happening in sports.
I'm gonna speak on the drug he took though. It was more of a fat burner drug. I feel
it's a cutting agent. It's a
I feel like he couldn't make the weight anymore, and he took it for that reason. As power wise, it's there. He don't need it. But as far as him trying to cut weight, I think that was his purpose of taking it. I don't think it was trying to abuse the sport or take advantage of the fighters from with more power. But as far as him taking clenbuterol, it was for what I think it was for
Yeah,
was him to cut
it's
weight.
another thing too is that I don't, as far as when he had when he did test positive for clenbuterol, I don't know enough about it to say, I do know that clenbuterol is a cutting agent because obviously, like everybody else, they said, what did he test positive for? I don't give a fuck who you are. You're going to throw it into a Google search, right? And you're like, you read about it's a fat burner. And the first thing, for me, I'm like, shit, maybe I ought to get my hands on some clenbuterol. I'm trying to get rid of this stomach shit. Where do I get this shit, right? And so when I go back and, and take a look, I can only go back and hear what they had to say. I know there was an interview with Victor Conti where he was talking about what Billy Joe had came out would tested positive for, I guess, mixing a
nasal spray.
Yeah, a nasal spray with some other shit that he goes out and says, hey, this is 100 times more effective and much more dangerous than what Canelo was using, right? I don't know because, that's not my scope. I know if Victor Conti was on, he could probably give you the best educated answers. As far as me, being able to talk about it, shit, it's out of my scope. I have no idea.
Yeah, can I place you guys on hold for a second? I want to go grab my really small violin.
Shit, grab a cello. We're all great. So, people used to talk about Novocaine in Floyd's hands. You got to remember this shit, right? People say, hey, people were running around saying that Floyd was putting Novocaine in his hands, and that's why he didn't want to fight outside of Nevada and so forth. Listen, when you got a great fighter, no matter what, when you're looking at Canelo, you're looking at the greatest of his era right now. As far as he's the most dominant earner out there. He's the biggest thing in boxing. He puts 78,000 asses in the seats. That comes with a receipt. People are going to be out there, and he's going to be on the crosshairs of people. They're going to want to take shots. Now, if you got something like this going on, where he did piss hot for clenbuterol, which I don't know too much about, they're definitely going to use that as sort of fodder to be able to go at the guy. But I just think that comes with the territory as far as being the guy that's on top of the mountain. They talked about Floyd in a fucking 1,000 different ways, from A to Z. At the end of the day, Floyd is arguably probably one of the greatest that we've ever seen step inside those ropes. So it just comes with a lot of shit. So
you guys are great. So he was allowed to take clenbuterol. Were the fighters that he fought against allowed to take clenbuterol?
I don't think, like I said, I don't think he took it. He shouldn't have took it. If he knew that it was a performance enhancement, then he shouldn't have took it. But if he was using it to cut weight, it's whatever to me.
It's a lot of shit out
meat
there,
that he
too.
ate in Mexico.
Huh?
So it wasn't in the meat that he took in Mexico.
I thought it was carne asada.
That story was crazy. That story was crazy.
I heard it was in tripas.
What, the dollar tacos?
No, listen, we can all
crazy.
joke aside and shit, but like the thing too that I always try to remind someone that is, not with Canelo, but with anybody, clenbuterol is not going to make you better than at your craft. Yeah. It might take a fat boy and make him skinny. Clenbuterol is not going to get you the knockout. Clenbuterol is not going to give you any better timing. Clenbuterol is not going to make you sit there with Eddie and practice hook after hook or straight after straight. And y'all would be great lawyers. And
oh god.
So the truth is that it's I don't even know why.
Man, this fighter got 15 pounds to lose, man. He got $1 million payday, DB. Hey, fighter A has 15 pounds to lose in 10 days.
Yeah.
I got an idea. Clenbuterol.
Hey, definitely definitely being around how they operate their camp and being there every day. I can tell you that we never saw anything like that. I don't think that this guy is so dedicated to his craft. The guy works out all goddamn day. It literally, it's like a movie. Like it doesn't make any sense. You're also talking about a guy that at 6 o'clock in the morning had a runner that just would push the pace. The guy was just an incredibly fast runner, so that he can go out there and try to keep up with them. He's just a different kind of guy. And when we look at his body, obviously people are going to say some shit, but you know what? His shit comes from hard work. When the guy leaves the goddamn gym, he takes his ass to a golf course and he plays golf for another 3 or 4 hours. He probably is active literally from 6 in the morning until 6 at night for 12 hours a day. So he's just a different cat. It's like, remember hearing about, you heard about Rico Jr. playing basketball before he fought Vinny Panzania?
Yeah, I remember that.
Different cats. These guys are out there, different cats. So
hey, DB, Canelo about to win a Nobel Peace Prize, man.
Absolutely. This is great.
Hey, Lawrence, you 9-1, dog. 9-1, man.
Yeah.
My brother, Presidential Mike, in the chat, he said Canelo used to gas in fights before he popped dirty and pissed hot.
Oh,
this is true.
Yeah. He used to. He got that.
I don't think that's something to be said about training, though. A lot of fighters used to gas in fights. The guy has a really good anticipation of what the other fighters are going to do. He controls the clock and he matured the shit out of himself. You know, when you're looking at Canelo that fought Ricky Hatton's brother, Matthew Hatton, it's not the same goddamn guy. This guy right now, when we'll spar him, we'll watch him go 8 rounds and just work on defense. We'll watch him go 2 rounds and just work on feints. We'll watch him work on specific things. When people look at this cat and say, oh, he used to gas and so forth, so I guess he's on EPO, erythropoietin or some shit like that. That's some bullshit. You know, the truth is that man knows how to control the clock, and, you know, especially with his physical presence, he knows how to put that pressure on you. So you can't take away from his boxing acumen. And I think it's very nearsighted to not introduce that in the conversation. This is not the same guy that lost to Floyd Mayweather. When I see Floyd Mayweather clips and Canelo clips, you know, from 7 years ago, it's just not the same guy. There's been an incredible amount of maturity. He's 30 years old. He's no longer 23. He can control the clock. I guarantee if he wants to go 15 or 20, he could.
Easily.
Wow.
Let me ask you guys this question right here, you wise boxing gentlemen. What does competitive advantage mean?
I think there's an incredible amount of this. Competitive advantage is so exponential. You got fighters that know how to control their body language. You have fighters that do, you know, rituals as far as when they're entering a fight. You got fighters that when they go to touch gloves are always trying to touch on top. You got fighters that are going to make, you know, sure that their foot is going to be the first one that moves before the round starts. You got fighters who are going to make sure they fire the first feint. There's so many different ways of the competitive advantage. For me to say that this competitive advantage that you want to categorize in performance-enhancing drugs, I know too much about boxing just to put it on that. It's such a wide array of different shit you can do to be a winner. I just couldn't fall into it and just put it in that one category. Sure, could you argue, is that a competitive advantage? Absolutely. But until I see him piss hot, it's going to be hard for me to assassinate the guy. I don't even know when he popped for Clinton. I think it was it 5 or 7 years ago? I have no idea. I don't. I can tell you 5 or 7 years ago. 5 or 7 years ago,
man. Y'all good, man. 3 years ago, 18, man.
5 or 7 years ago, I was training Malik Scott when he fought for Derek Chisora, and he lost the title. Okay. I don't talk about Malik. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck are you doing 5 or 7 years ago? In boxing, that's a long time ago. Malik is now the trainer of Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
At that time, we were in London together. So, you know, for me to talk about whenever he pissed hot, it was a while ago. So
Right. All things popping TV says Clem helps breathe, and that's a fact. Hey, Coach Cam, why don't you get another device and beam in so we all can hang out? Why not?
Y'all doing too much.
Why don't you just get another device?
I'm listening. Where Lawrence at? Y'all talk to Lawrence and my head coach. I'm listening. Wait, no. When I got something to say, I'm gonna say it. Trust me.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, DB.
Yeah. So where do you guys rank? I'm sure he's probably number 2 or number 3 pound for pound. But where do you rank Antonio Margarito on your all-time favorite list?
I'm gonna be honest with you about Antonio Margarito. Obviously, when Nazim Richardson caught him with the wraps against the Shane Mosley fight, all of his, and I understand what this is. This is basically like you correlating into the same thing. Obviously, his whole legacy is fucked up for me, right? I mean, but it's not just, you guys remember Antonio Margarita. There was Rashad Holloway, a guy that people might not remember, from a guy from LA named Shotty. This Margarito used an illegal wrap and gave this guy, I believe he either broke his orbital bone or might have detached his retina with an illegal wrap. So going back on Margarito, frankly, was a piece of shit in sparring, in the gym, and obviously in the fights because of what happened with him and Miguel Cotto. I understand that what you're saying. Hey, look, but having an illegal wrap or what would have happened with Louis Resto and some shit like that, or even Panama Joe. I just can't just all bundle them in together, because I'll tell you what, if I'm asking you right now who has the number one highlight video of all time as fighters, to me, no one compares to Roy Jones Jr. highlight video. But I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. He pissed hot, and so it's like if I mention Roy, are we gonna start taking up? There's a lot of guys out there you start looking at. We're gonna start having to take tasks for. I love Evander Holyfield. The fact is that many people, with Evander and so forth. I'm not here to fucking point fingers, because that's not my job. There's a lot of performance enhancing drugs in the business. We know this. Even the brothers from DC, who I'm also very big fans of, coming out of the Headbangers. I'm not gonna say their name. We know that they pissed hot. They got caught with
who?
The Petersons. But you know what? I don't fucking what James Toney did. What am I gonna talk about James Toney? James Toney's a fucking animal. He's one of my, I always felt like if James Toney was disciplined and actually put in the hard work and ran his miles and stayed in the gym, he would have been the greatest of all time. I mean, but I think that he didn't have the work ethic to match the talent. His talent, in fact, is probably one of the most talented fighters I've ever seen. The fights between him and Mike McCallum are absolutely fucking phenomenal. Those fights are like fine wine to me. Am I going to go in on James Toney? No. When James Toney said basically that he had taken too much damage from sparring and that it affected his testosterone, who the fuck am I to say? James Toney was in that goddamn wild card or every gym, in Crunk his whole goddamn life, burning the midnight hours, fucking sparring all goddamn day. I'm not going to point fingers, because that's not my fucking job. As far as Canelo's concerned, he's a legend of this time, just like all those other guys. And I'm not going to. Margarito's different. That's a legal fucking rap with plaster of Paris, and he's a piece of shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm not a Margarito fan, and that's just me keeping it 100.
Yeah, let me ask you this question: who would be James Toney's best 2 or 3 fighters that he fought, opponents?
Oh, shit.
Oh man,
shit, damn.
I mean, obviously, God, obviously, to me, the fights that I really like him with Mike McCallum. I mean, James Toney fought everybody. But we talking about the best. I mean, shit.
I like the fight against the Russian. I forget the guy's name.
Yeah, the Southpaw Russian.
I like the Russian
with the P. What the fuck's his name?
Perov.
Yeah. Dimitri, right? Yeah,
Dimitri. I love that fight
because you liked him going up in weight. I mean, shit, dude, he fought fucking Sam Peters, right? So it's like you can't take Sam Peters. Remember when everybody saw Sam Peters, and everybody. I don't know if you were like me, but you said, "God damn, this motherfucker is one of the biggest motherfucking men I've ever seen in my goddamn life." Sam Peters is an absolute fucking monster.
I've never seen him in person.
But he just physically, he had them hands that, just his hands look like gloves and so forth. It's so hard because, but I can tell you for fights for me, I ran into Mike McCallum in Vegas, and every time I run into Mike McCallum, I can't wait to talk to him, because those 3 fights, the trilogy that he had with James, to me, those were the best fights. And I know they had asked James Toney, who's the most you learned about from boxing, and he always says Mike McCallum. So, but it'd be hard, and honestly too, I don't know. I'm sure you guys are like me. You love boxing. You probably watch James Toney sparring a lot too. He was just incredible to watch, even on the sparring footage is out there on YouTube. So,
Got it. What about Roy Jones Jr.?
I'm sorry.
What about Roy Jones Jr.? Who would you say his top 3 opponents were in his career?
Roy, it sucked because Roy never had, even with the Bernard thing, but Roy Roy was like one of these guys that was an anomaly that was so fucking far ahead of his of it was like he was an alien, right? So, you know, it's even when you look at Virgil Hill, right? Or was not this is not Virgil Hunter, Virgil. You know what Virgil I'm talking about? It's been a minute. The guy from South Dakota or North Dakota, or even is just a lot of guys that when you look at them and fight, I'm sure these guys would have been successful had they not been in his era. If that makes any sense. Even I guess the one, you know, Mike McCallum comes to mind with Roy Jones Jr. But even when you're looking at who's the guy that he got the DQ from that was trained by Jesse Reed?
Montel Griffin.
Yeah, Montel Griffin comes to mind when he got that. He came back out there and got the stoppage. Tarver, listen, if we're talking about Roy, we got to talk about Tarver. We got to talk about it's been a minute, but Roy fought Glenn Johnson, right? Glenn got him, clipped him. It's just a lot of there's a lot of guys out there that he faced. Ultimately, when I talk about Roy Jones Jr., I always think that he would remain undefeated if he was forever 30. Which is to say that what beat Roy was because he was doing such crazy athletic things that nobody else could do. But who actually beat Roy was age. Because the guy just did, you know, he just did incredible things. And you got David Allen Jackson comes to mind, you know. Mm. So it's a lot of guys out there. Who did he put his hands? Did he put his hands behind himself against David Allen Jackson or
and left hooked him? Who was that? Yeah.
So.
Cool, got it. Yeah, so you've been watching this boxing. So, how do you feel about guys like Rocky Felding, Liam Smith, Smith, Avni Yildirim? What do you feel about those guys?
It would be like me asking about how do you feel like guys like Carlos Baldemar, or how do you feel about guys like Victor Ortiz? When you have a great fighter out there that's making his legacy.
The question about these guys.
Yeah. But when you're having a fighter out there that's making legacy, they're going to have to be facing some of these mandatories or some of these guys that even have belts from the other sanctioning bodies because they want to snatch them up. Yeah, it's not everybody's going to be
guys like Avni Yildirim and Caleb Smith.
I'm Rocky Felding over Caleb Smith.
Yeah, how do you feel about Avni Yildirim, Caleb Smith, Rocky Felding? What do you feel about these guys?
I look at all three of these fighters. I'm going to tell you that all three of these fighters are going to be irrelevant over time. But I mean, that's just fucking keeping it real. I mean, I don't know if you want me to no one's going to go back and look at them 10 years from now. That's just fucking keeping it real. I know that that with boxing, I'm never going to lie. I'm always going to keep it straight. They're not guys you're going to go back out there. But I will tell you that when you got someone like Canelo who's going to be active in the next 5 years, you're going to have to give him time. He's just fought Saunders. A lot of people out there thought that Saunders was going to beat him. He broke this man's face. Let that sit in. He broke this man's face. People are out there telling me Saunders is going to beat him. Saunders is going to beat that. I said he's not going to do that. He broke this man's face. Right? So when he gets around to these other names, he's got Caleb on the next. He's not going to have these big names all the time. Frankly, there's not a lot of big names out there. I'll tell you one thing, even about the Charlos. The Charlos were talking a lot about they wanted to face Canelo, but now they're saying that they want to stay in their division because even guys like that subconsciously know that he broke man's face, and that's keeping it 100. Nobody's out there eager to fight him either. I mean, obviously you're going to fight him and make 9 to 12 million. But, as far as those other guys you named, yeah, you're right. These guys I'm not looking at none of their fights. You probably knew I was going to answer with you straight. I'm not looking at any of their fights. I don't think that they're relevant and shit like that. But they have belts, and at the time, it seemed like good business. And I guarantee he'll get 2 bigger names, and then he'll probably go to some name that we're all going to scratch our heads and be like, well, why is he fighting him and so forth. But the one thing that you could say about all the greats, Floyd included, Manny included, Oscar De La Hoya comes to mind. Guys that go after multiple divisions, guys that go after multiple belts. These are men that don't just go in there and do a Gennady Golovkin thing, which is to sit on one weight class his whole career. These are the alpha males. Canelo, Floyd, obviously Manny. You know, Shane comes to mind too. Cotto. You know, these are the special men of our era.
Right. So is Gennady Golovkin special or no?
No, I'm gonna be honest with you with my Gennady take. I don't think that Gennady is you know, when Gennady beat Bernard Hopkins' record for the most middleweight defenses for the titles, a part of me kind of died, to be honest with you. I held Bernard in a much higher regard. That's not to say Gennady's an incredibly great fighter. Obviously, I think that he's going to go down and be probably you know, but he's not as special as these guys that get multiple different, you know, multiple divisions. I mean, that's just, listen, that's not me. That's not my opinion. This is accolades of what you get in boxing. So
is that, I mean, because you said he's not that special, and you also said that he sat in one division.
I understand you're saying that you're looking at Canelo's. I can already see where you're going with this train of thought. You're looking at Canelo's fights against Gennady as being two of the biggest fights as he had. But I'm talking about, the truth is if Gennady was a man, Gennady would have went and got Andre Ward and made that happen. But Andre Ward faced Sullivan Barrera, and they made a smart business decision, which was probably made by by Abel Sanchez, because he had Barrera at the time, which is to say, hey, listen, we don't want to put Gennady in there with Andre Ward because Andre Ward is going to do what he wants to Gennady. The truth is Gennady sat at that thing, sat at that division. If Gennady was a man, he would have went to 68 and 75. Just like when Canelo was a man, he's marched his ass all the way up. So you got to remember, Gennady started at 160. For me to put Gennady in the conversation with Canelo and say that they're on the same level is just not accurate. It's not keeping it real. It's the same thing with why I find Manny Pacquiao so fascinating. The guy ran 8 different divisions. It's just boxing accolades.
Oh, do you think that the belts have different levels of prestige? Like, do you think the WBO carries more weight than, say, an IBO?
It's so hard for me to get into that because, as you guys, I'm sure I sit with you guys on it, right? Which is to say, I'm sure we're all in the same corner on this one. When you got fucking the WBC has, I don't know what the fuck they got going on, right? You got all these different belts. I can't keep track of it. And listen, that's a whole goddamn full job within itself. Who would actually have perspective and insight on how those different belts work? I know what I've heard, the same shit that you've heard, where you hear, hey, listen, if this guy gets a loss, he actually doesn't lose the WBC belt unless the WBC dictates that he loses the belt or whatever the IB. I don't fucking know. Listen, if it were up to me and I was making business decisions, I wouldn't have it that way. But you know, all 3 of us or 4 of us, we're not in this position to make any of those decisions. I don't know enough about the belt. I do know one thing about that, about the WBC belt. It, in a lot of ways, is the most recognizable belt for everybody. It seems like when you see that green strap, I know that it has a narrative with it, right? But outside of that, any world champion with any sanctioning body out there, man, you got to take your hat off too, and you know that whatever their path to get there was they went through a lot of shit to get that fucking belt. And you got to respect them. I'm just talking about the marketability and my ability to recognize myself.
Yeah. They said one of the coaches over at the gym was a dancer. Is that you?
No. What, dancer back in the day? Who said that shit?
No. Somebody was a tap dancer.
I used to tap dance back in 1986 with Greg Leon. I was in that movie Tap. You remember it? I was in that.
Hey, what's up, Kai?
I'm roll that shit. Y'all wasn't ready for me. Y'all think I'm this motherfucker.
Canelo took that franchise belt. Yeah.
Listen, look, we all remember what happened with Sergio Martinez and Chavez, right? This is the first time we heard about this shit. Was the Sergio Martinez Chavez belt, right? And we're all scratching our fucking heads, going like, you know, what the fuck is going on? You know, listen, I don't know. I'm not in that position. So.
Oh, fight week, we got to have you back, man, because we go in on Canelo fight week. Oh, it would be fun. Yeah, we go viral every Canelo fight. So yeah, you gotta come back in. You gotta come back in. Oh man, Canelo is.
Listen, before you dance your way out of here, let me just ask you one more thing. Tyson Fury, the
Oh,
Gypsy
yeah.
Queen.
What Tyson Fury? What?
Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyson Fury had a case back when he fought against Klitschko of ED usage. Do you remember that? Some steroid.
I don't, but listen, nothing. Like I said, nothing. I only know about Canelo just because he's a big name. Not to say that Fury's not a big name. He's also a big name. I don't know if you guys remember that Klitschko got. Remember, about the that they had the foam. And was it with the Klitschko fight? Who had the fucking where they put in the ring like 5 inches of foam to slow down the movement? I think of Tyson Fury. Wow. Do you guys remember that?
No.
Yes. So listen, they get busted on this shit. They go to the ring. They make the ring super big, and they get called out for it because they wanted to slow down his movement. There's so much shit that goes on in this fucking sport. You can actually find it on YouTube if you guys are bored. Just type in Fury Klitschko ring tampering, and it'll probably hit.
Wow.
But yeah,
we believe you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we definitely believe you.
I mean, it's just wild to see as boxing guys like us. You're looking at it, you're like, man, this is a new one. Like, what the fuck are these guys thinking of? The creative. With Tyson taking PEDs, I don't know about it. But the same thing with Tyson is like, he's an incredibly smart fighter. He's cerebral. Even Malik used to spar him back in the day when I was around Malik. I'd heard about Tyson before had fought the one that Coach Anthony trains. He fought him on PBC back in the day from Philadelphia. What the hell?
Oh yeah. Cunningham.
Cunningham, thank you. Yeah, Steve Cunningham, right? So you hear about these guys because if you're unboxing, you sort of say like, man, what's up with this dude? Yada yada yada. I'd heard that Tyson Fury was one hell of a mean son of a bitch back then. That he was a nasty, dirty guy that he came to fight. As far as his performance enhancing drugs, shit, I don't know, but I can tell you what, he's a very educated man. He's very cerebral. He's an incredible big. He's got an incredible skill set. He's a hell of a fighter. That being said, I hope the chemistry between Malik Scott and Deontay Wilder go in there and upset that man. I'm a fucking American. As crazy as it sounds, I want that goddamn belt back at home. We should have an American heavyweight champion. That's just how I look at it. I hope they go out there and they go and get it back. And if anybody can pull it off, I believe the chemistry of Malik and Deontay can pull it off. And that's not, I haven't talked to Malik in years, so it's not like I have some big bias there. It's just to say I believe in his ability to go out there and make a champion. This is his first go, and I believe in the fact that him, Malik and Deontay, they share I want to say they share the same birthday, or the mothers share the same birthday. There's something there with each other, but they got such a great chemistry over the years. He's going in there with another teacher. Trust me, Malik is a teacher. He knows his shit. He might not have, just to say that you're in the top 10 at one time, or the guy fought for 2 titles. He fought Chisora and he fought Luis Ortiz. Just to say that you were in a position. You also fought, obviously fought Wilder himself. Just because you didn't make it doesn't mean shit. He's still fucking one hell of a brain out there, and he's got some guy that Deontay's no regular fighter. That man has a fucking equalizer. If he touches you, you're going out. And I really believe this is the difference. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I think it was a mistake. Those motherfuckers should have marched themselves into that fight instead of having this COVID shit pop up, because they're only giving those 2 more time to go out there and cook on the kitchen, and whatever they got going. I really firmly believe they're going to go out there and get the upset and bring that belt back home.
I couldn't agree with you more. I don't know where DB, you still there? Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, so I was talking on mute. Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, we're definitely rooting for Wilder, and I want that man flatline, man. The games that he plays, what I mean? It's well beyond Canelo's scope. You know what I mean? But the game,
there was some the glove shit is still weird. I can't, not to say that I believe in Glovegate entirely. I don't know, but I'll be honest with you, I've never seen a glove like that.
Yeah.
So, I watched it. I'm sure, like you guys, fuck, we I watched someone's boxing. I can't remember who the fuck Roy Jones Jr. fought. I'm like, who the fuck did he fight again? But I've never seen. I'm sure we're all not. Now that's not to say that there was anything there. I don't know. Tyson Fury, I'm sure, has a very large fucking hand. Maybe his hand doesn't fit inside the goddamn glove. But guess what?
So does every heavyweight.
Yeah, but me personally, I've never seen a glove look like that. That's really all I'm sitting on with that. But just looking at, I like what it appears that Deontay and Malik got going on. And Malik is just a very cunning, strategic dude. If you ever get the chance to get that guy on your show and open him up,
he
just knows so much about the sport, and he really understands the emotional side about it. And he was an incredible teacher for me. When I was under Jesse Reed at the time. He had 23 world champions. He had Johnny Tapia, Hector Camacho, Orlando Canizales, Roger Mayweather. He's had a lot of head cases out there. Not Canizales was the head case, but the other guys were. But a lot of the crazy fighters that went out there doing some crazy shit, and he taught me a lot. And I had the opportunity to be Malik's assistant. I was his lead on one fight, but Malik taught me a lot. I could never be in this position if it wasn't for Malik, because it was really, although I was helping him out, he was helping me out just as much, if not more. So,
yeah, beautiful.
Real quick, while we're talking about Canelo, does Canelo Alvarez get in the ring with David Benavidez, because he did say at some point that he's not going to fight any more Mexican fighters? And also, will he get in the ring with Demetrius Andrade, who he was Demetrius Andrade did the same thing that Erislandy Lara did. He went to a press conference and try to make his presence felt. And he's also got a belt. So I know people have been talking about doing this conversation.
Just payday. You want payday. I know that.
Listen, Andrade's earned his payday, right? So, like, he's got a fucking belt. So, that's that. You can put all the politics aside and so forth. Maybe it was bad timing because Andrade popped up on his, after he had the biggest fight of his life with 78,000 people. But ultimately, he's got a strap. So, listen, people lie, belts don't, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, he got that strap. Let's hope that he goes out there and that comes. When I'm looking at forecasting the possible fights for Canelo in the future, I don't see how Andrade can't be on the list unless there's really some beef there. I don't really think, I don't know. I can't speak on Saul's part. I don't fucking have a clue. I hope for the fans that there's no beef out there and they make that fight happen. We all know, anybody that's involved in boxing know the same thing. Andrade is a very difficult look for everybody. He's got a very wide stance. He's very elusive. He understands his timing. He's very cerebral. He's obviously I say he's more of a he's a different kind of southpaw than what Saunders is, but he's a very I don't want to it might. I hope this doesn't come off the wrong way, and not trying to offend anybody. It was a better version of Chad Dawson. Like, he's a very sturdy, physical, big heavyweight. You're not just going to cut an angle around that motherfucker because he takes up so much goddamn space. It's the same thing with Benavidez. Same sort of build. You're talking about very big men for that division. We all know in boxing that these are great fights that we all want to see. I'm friends with some of the Benavidez people. I talk to them sometimes. I want them to have that fight because shit. Could you imagine that fight in Vegas during Cinco de Mayo weekend? It's gonna do incredible numbers. They're two big stars, and obviously Canelo is the star he is. But David's a huge star. We know David's gonna be very physical. He's very mean. He's got great control. He's got he's not afraid to waste a shot to get a shot. He's frankly, he's a mean guy too, kind of like Tyson Fury. He's going to put a glove on you. He's going to push you out the way. He's going to hit you. He's not just going to let you, not like how Ildrim let Canelo sneak inside of his distance. He's not going to let any kind of shit like that. He's going to get a hand on you and be very fucking physical. Whereas it's two kind of different matchups, right? They both are great matchups. Listen, when Canelo is all said and done, we're going to have these conversations. There's going to be names that come up, and not to say that that Canelo hasn't already cemented his legacy, because he certainly has. But it seems to me that Canelo is the type of guy that is going to continue to cement his legacy. We all probably heard rumors that he could have fought Bivol, and I'm sure that a lot of us were like, oh, especially you guys were probably like, here we go again. The guy he's going to face Bivol, I thought he was going to fight Caleb. we're all hoping that this Caleb fight really happens. If he fights Caleb, we know that Caleb can go out there and get the upset. Period. We know that Caleb is capable of that, right? It's the same thing with those other two. We hope that he continues to cement his legacy and then he gets in the ring with guys like Benavidez. He gets in the ring with guys like Andrade. Because at the end of the day, we want to be able to look back at his career and not be able to say some names. And I think he knows that. And I think that he's after legacy.
David, he won't fight David. I know that.
I don't, it's hard to say. I definitely do not. That one thing that I think that I always, because there is a certain business acumen that comes into it. David too has to continue to do what he's doing, which is to build his brand, which he is. I mean, David, just watching him is probably one of the most fan-friendly, exciting fighters out there. We know that he comes to fight, and the people are going to demand it. Boxing media is going to demand it. It's going to be one of the fact is that you're doing. When you say that he doesn't fight, he's not going to fight David, you're saying the right thing because David Benavidez has done everything that he should to get the fight with Canelo Alvarez because he's that kind of fighter. So just keeping his name out there and being like, hey, what's up? After Caleb, who's next? You got David, you got Andrade, you got it. It's your guys' job. It's people like me that are in the gym every day where they ask me, say, who should he face next? Man, to be real, I really like to see him see Andrade. To be real with you, I like to see him go fight Benavidez. Those guys are absolutely right there, right? Like, to be honest with you, if I had to pick between Caleb, Andrade, and David, I can't wait to see all three of them. I wouldn't even know which one to point at, which one I would want to go first. He's going with Caleb. The only people that are going to make that happen are the boxing fans, is the boxing media, and the motherfuckers that have their heart into this boxing shit that are saying, hey, look, man, I really hope I can see this fucking Benavidez fight. How's that happen? Talk that shit on that goddamn Instagram. Talk that shit on these videos. Talk that shit to your homies. Talk that shit to everybody that you can, because we want to see that fight crack. So,
yeah, I think those guys probably need to build their profile more before they get to deserve a Canelo fight.
I think they're there. I mean, who else? I mean, I can't see them. Andrade's in a tough spot because. To me, I feel like he's right. He's got a strap, right? So he's fucking earned it, right? I mean, what can you say? David's in listen. David's got a lot of momentum. I mean, shit. Even here's another name that's kind of out the loop, but I've heard it get thrown around sometimes, which is Zurdo Ramirez, right? So a lot of people don't, obviously, but when I was watching Zurdo fight in LA, and the way that he held himself and the way that he went about his fight, it was apparent that Zurdo's a fucking star. It's apparent that he's out there and he went and got his belt at light heavyweight, right? People are out there doing everything they can, doing what they're supposed to do. David Benavidez does what he's supposed to do. He goes and beats the shit out of people. Andrade, is doing what he's supposed to do. Although, I'm sure a lot of us were critical of his last fight. The thing is that he's got that belt. Andrade's got that belt. David's doing what he's doing. These guys, there's names that are out there that have absolutely earned the right way before Ildrim. Although I know he was a mandatory, but I'm sure that you guys, as well as me, are very educated about how people even get in these rankings and how that plays out and so forth. Now, it's not our job to give people rankings and so forth, but listen, we all would rather have seen Benavidez or Andrade, but
Man, we appreciate you. Where Coach Cam, little pretty ass at?
I'm gonna sit her down here right now.
Thank you, dog.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys, and I definitely appreciate all the love. You guys do an incredible job. And Cam, let me get you back in here. I'm playing musical chairs with her. So, all right, maybe I'll let you guys in a fight one of these days. Or better yet, you'll have one of my champions on. You can interview them.
Oh, that'll be great. Thank you.
Listen, hold on. This is the man that I work with every day. If I don't know anything about boxing before this year is over, y'all need to shoot me. Because I hear this all the time.
Right.
All the time. So, what time is it? Y'all was talking for 3 hours, Trav.
Now, who's your top 5 pound for pound, by the way?
Oh man, I was cleaning the office. Now you asking me boxing questions. Okay. Of course, I have Muhammad Ali. I have Roy Jones. I have Floyd Mayweather. I have Manny Pacquiao. Damn. You're this one he's not well known, but I'm rooting for him. I feel like nobody really gets to see him fight, but he is one of my absolute favorites. Rashidi Ellis. I like him.
Yeah, he's cool. He's on Golden Boy, right? He's on Golden Boy, right?
Yeah, he's on something.
Yeah. he's definitely. Do you think Manny, so let's say hypothetically he would have beat Errol Spence, right?
Okay.
In your eyes, would he have surpassed Floyd Mayweather with 7 losses? 6 losses, 7 losses, somewhere in there.
Listen. Floyd is undefeated, right?
Yeah, 50-0.
The greatest. Just because Manny has had titles in 8 different divisions, I'm going to say this and I'm going to say it out loud. I do believe he does surpass Floyd Mayweather.
Really? Even though he beat him?
We're not going to do this. Listen, what time is it? You don't have to bring me back for another show. I'm still in my gym. Trev, what time is it? I'm not doing this right now.
You just opened up a whole can.
No, we have to close that can back up. We're going to reseal that bag and we're going to come back.
But it's fight week for Manny. It's fight week for Manny. It's fight week for Manny. It's like he passes Floyd. Wow. Even though he beat him. I mean, it was an easy fight too. 9-3, easy 8-4.
Yes. And here's the thing.
Okay.
Floyd did beat Manny. That's the truth. He outboxed Manny and his defense was there. So I can't even, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna sit here and be one of those fans that go, no, Floyd, didn't do his job. Manny won. And no, Floyd beat him. That is what it is. But I'm always gonna be
sure.
I'm that fan. Like if I'm loyal to you, I'm loyal to you. Okay. Trev, on the other hand, is all about accolades and is all about statistics. And
listen,
oh my God! You know what? Y'all need to do this. No.
Floyd is definitely. He's incredible. He's great.
They're all incredible. They're all great. Do not ask me anything about anybody else. I think they're all amazing.
Ask them when they know that people, when they were critical of Manny and Joanne Guzman.
Who? See? No, you gonna make me sit in this chair. I was about to say goodnight. Manny and Joanne Guzman.
How about Joel Guzman? How about
well, they said Manny ducked him back in the day.
Well, the only fighter I would say that Manny Pacquiao probably would have ducked is Edwin Valero. That's probably the only one. Like I would think that he was 27-0 with 27 knockouts and crazy.
That shit crazy though.
Yeah, and crazy. I said that and crazy. Like I think a lot of people would have ducked him when he would have got that train rolling. But
I remember when he came to LA. I was trained by Gennaro Chicanito Hernandez, the guy that Floyd Mayweather got his first belt from. When he came to LA, Gennaro called me up. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "Come to me to LA. You got to see this kid."
Y'all stop me from
cleaning
the office. Valero. Hold
on. No, sit down.
What? I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I'm so glad you guys met Trevor. Obviously he can talk hours and hours about boxing.
Yeah, and we can learn from each other for sure.
Absolutely. You guys have to have him.
Whatever your fight week is, come back and we'll.
When the boys fight in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Y'all need to do some videos and y'all can put them on a platform. You know what I mean? And so people know y'all out there. Get that credibility.
Where does Lawrence go?
And send it to me on WhatsApp. He was like, man, we ain't talking about me. I'm out of here.
We'll
reschedule him. We'll reschedule Lawrence.
like
man, we just got that.
Absolutely.
I know where DB was going. That's why I didn't even talk. I do DB, but man, we appreciate y'all being a great sport. You know what I mean?
Quick,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What's your favorite Manny Pacquiao moment?
Oh, good question.
Man.
I want to answer that question after her too.
Wait. Can I tell you something? When he asked me that, it was when he got knocked out. That's the first thought that came into my head. Isn't that terrible? Who was
You
it
mean
that
in the
knocked him out,
video?
That was December.
Marquez, when Marquez knocked him out.
That's
That's
your favorite Manny
when
moment?
he asked that question, that's the moment that popped into my head.
Oh, when he was in the video, face down, ass up.
Right.
You gotta say,
All right. Well,
No,
shit.
to me, my favorite, all of them.
Probably Oscar.
Oscar De La Hoya.
Oh, he beat Oscar to a pulp. I enjoyed that.
did.
He beat Oscar.
He did. I was just watching.
I mean, he beat the fight out of Oscar. He made Oscar not even want to walk into a gym ever again. You know what I mean? He beat.
He did.
You got to remember too, Oscar.
Why's your flashlight on?
Was never done really like that.
He retired after that. Was that 7, 8? You know, he definitely retired after that. You know, my first thought was, DB, you mind if I answer that question as well? Because because my opinion of Manny Pacquiao has changed over the years. You know, because the whole 2010, you know, I'm pro Floyd. He's running from Floyd. He's on PEDs and has tattoos. He's afraid of needles. You know, that whole shebang. I
was right with you on that one.
Okay, thank you.
You ain't the only one.
You know, but the last 2 years, I've been able to enjoy Manny Pacquiao and his humanity and his big heart. You know, I used to think it was fake because I was so on the other side with Floyd. Man, he all fake. He's this. But the last 2 years with the Adrian Broner, the Keith Thurman, and now with independent media just really, really taking over, I thought Ellie's done an exceptional job at humanizing Manny Pacquiao, and not thoroughly. And I haven't watched every video, but by the thumbnails and the videos that I do watch, I think Manny Pacquiao has given everything to the sport of boxing, and I'm excited to watch his Hall of Fame speech and all that. You know, I'm not sure if I'll understand it, but I will be there watching. You know,
I'll translate it for you.
yeah. But I've thoroughly enjoyed Manny Pacquiao. This camp is the first time where I've just sat back and just enjoyed Manny, even though I was rooting hard for Earl at the beginning, but I just enjoyed him, man. And I think he's a real humanitarian, and I think he's given everything to the sport of boxing. We've literally seen him go from being an alcoholic, being a prostitute, loving prostitutes, to being a Christian, coming back, getting his wife back, being a family man, and now he's an actual senator, and potentially May 9th, thank you, who put it in the chat, could be president. So we've literally seen this man just grow, and I tip my hat to him. You know, I really do, and it's just sad that I couldn't really enjoy him along the ride. You know, but you know, it's my fault. So. Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at. So, but yeah, so I'm rooting for Manny this weekend because I want to see this again. I really want to see him give his life to boxing again. And hopefully it's an Errol Spence fight, you know, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I'm tired.
All right, well, get out of here. Thank you. Hey, it's DB's birthday, by the way.
Is it really?
Is
that why he's talking hella shit? Because it's his birthday?
Yeah, it's DB's birthday. Yeah.
If I would have known, I would have let you against the
Hey,
wall.
tell DB I'm gonna get him a Canelo shirt.
Yeah, that's dope. I appreciate that, Coach Cam. I really appreciate that.
I don't want no smoke. No boxing, no life. I don't want no smoke.
Oh, that's love. That's love.
Yeah, I definitely need something to wash my car with. So,
facts. Big facts. Thank y'all for coming back in here, man. And please send the footage, man, because we want to support y'all. Now we really want to support y'all.
Footage of the boys in Dubai.
Yeah, just a minute clip, y'all eating, telling jokes, whatever the case, just so we can get y'all in the algorithms, you know, and you can timestamp it. It'll be here forever, you know. So when you go recruit more fighters and You know, whatever the case may be, I don't care. I just would love to do my part. You know,
Definitely. Yes, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, all you gotta do is send it to Patty on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Send it to Patty on WhatsApp, and I'll upload it immediately. Yeah,
Perfect.
for sure.
Perfect. Will do. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Cam. Thank you, Coach Trev.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All
Thank
the
you,
time,
guys.
y'all. Appreciate it. Thanks, DB. Yeah, that was fun. I knew he was going because I was gonna go, but I was like, DB gonna have too much fun with this. Because I was about to go you already know. I was like, oh man, this is just. I was like, I'm gonna just sit back, and I know DB just gonna have some fun with him with Canelo.
It's crazy because some people, they just like, for this guy, it's okay to break the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And for everybody else, it's a different story.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? For Margarito, it's a different story. For Tyson Fury, I don't remember.
Yeah.
You know. But for the guy who I'm in camp with, who I get a check from time to time, I can't say too much bad about him.
Yeah. And you know what's funny too? I was thinking about the names he was listing. And some of y'all might say, wow, he's comparing a black fighter to a Latino fighter. I thought that by the comments. I'm like, damn, black fighters really dominate boxing. I was thinking that. I was like, man, he couldn't name no other fighter. He was like, man, and I know he wanted to because he kind of wanted to balance the scales because he knew where he was, you know. But he couldn't think of any. He couldn't think of any. He really could. And I'm not giving him an out. I'm not giving him an out. I'm just saying I thought he really couldn't think of a non-black fighter that's been great. You know, I was like, man,
he played Manny Pacquiao, politician. He tried to win a couple of votes back.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'm going for Deontay. Stop it.
Oh man, yeah. Oh man, but yeah, man, that was
fun, man.
That was
only in the barbershop, baby. Only in the barbershop.
Yeah, it's your birthday too. Yeah,
it's really good, man. Me and baby girl finna grub shit. This fool been sitting right here for 2 hours.
Oh, real? What you cooking tonight? Well, you might as well stay on and we'll get out of it. We'll keep you on for 10, 15 minutes and get out of it. Hey, but by the way, how was your first day of school? By the way.
Oh man, this shit is man. Like waking up early. Like the other, you know, there's a difference between when you wake up early when you want to, or just when your body wants to, versus when you have to.
Facts.
Man, it should feel different.
Man, I had to get up. Man. Hey, but
so yeah, I'm tired right now.
Yeah. And then the movement in the house is different. Like Lincoln is up and moving, and like and I hear him and I'm asleep, and I'm like, man, I'm looking at I roll over, look at my phone. I'm like, damn, I got 3 minutes. Okay, how quickly can I do this and do that? And you know, I mean, it just was, but it was enjoyable to see them go to their first day, and Kennedy was just so excited, and you know, these are just priceless moments, man. And I didn't feel what you felt in terms of the house, because since it was my birthday, I was out. I went to breakfast, and went to lunch, and then good.
You know, dinner, and you know, I went by the beach, and you know, I was running around all day long. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't feel that empty, that void in the house. I didn't feel it. That's gonna kick in tomorrow. So.
Oh yeah. This is, and funny, today was a day I've been looking forward to for years, because you know, remember I talked about it on my videos. Man, when Kennedy goes to school full time,
I think on my birthday.
Oh no, yeah. And boy, Kennedy go to school full time. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I came home yeah. Remember I said that for years, and then I came home today after I came back from the gym, and I'm like, damn, it was quiet. You know, Dre is gone to work. And I'm just sitting there like, because I ain't never not had a kid on me. Like if I'm somebody, one of the kids is always with me, you know. And it's like, wow, she's gone forever. From 8 to 3, she's gone. I ain't got her no more, you know. So it was just like a surreal moment. And then you know what I was my thought, DB? I was hitting the heavy bag today, and my first thoughts was like, as I'm thinking like, Fred, don't bring Danny Torrio dancing ass back on here. Why not, man? Why not? It wakes us up. It wakes us up, Trevor. You need somebody to listen to, so you like, man, motherfucker this, motherfucker that, motherfucker this. and appreciate you, chap. And so I went from like, man, I got to do everything in my power to give Kennedy everything that I can possibly give her. And then I went the other way. I've never had this thought in my life. Ever in my life have I ever had this thought. I got to be an exemplary man, because I have to give my daughter away one day. And I was thinking that I don't know the man that she's going to marry ultimately or live the rest of her life with, but that butterfly effect. If I'm a great man, maybe it gets to them, or maybe I inspire another man, or maybe another man inspires me to be greater. Well, either way, but I'm just thinking like the butterfly effect to get to the man that she's going to spend the rest of her life with. And I've never had that thought before. You get what I'm saying? Like, I've never, ever had that thought. I'm like, I got to be great now, because I may meet her potential husband on a playground yard, or at the Boys and Girls Club, at Challengers, or, you know, at a basketball game on a Saturday. And I may shake his hand and may not know I ever shook his hand when he was 7, you know? So these are just the thoughts that I was just playing with in my head today. And I was like, okay, time is now.
You can be the Lincoln Kennedy to a young man.
Say that again, so I didn't understand it.
You can be the Lincoln Kennedy to a young man. The way Lincoln Kennedy was to you and inspired you.
Yeah, sure. Facts. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just important. And it's your birthday. It's your birthday. So what'd you do? Yeah, so what'd you eat, man? We got
talk. What up, Batman? Look, hey, Batman boxing talk. He just like
oh, he couldn't wait. He was loving this Canelo talk.
Look, if Canelo name came up, boy, he ain't been around in 3 months. He heard Canelo name.
I saw that.
Radar went off. Shout out to Batman.
Oh no, that motherfucker. Yeah, that motherfucker. Man, I was licking my chops when he was like, Canelo. We ain't never had that's our first official Canelo conversation in the shop. First one ever. In 2 years, we done had this show. The first time.
Damn.
For real. That's the first time we've ever had a show on Canelo. That first time ever. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I think, you might be right. He's been in conversation, but not
like a show. Yeah, not a show. Yeah, in conversation, like, oh, he ain't shit. Yeah, that, but first time ever. We literally had a show for 2 years and never led with Canelo as it pertains to like a guest or anything like that. That means we pretty damn good. You know, so yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to do this real quick. And yeah. It's pretty dope. You know, so yeah. I'm trying to find your okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I wanted to ask Coach Kam, and I know she was tired and she didn't really feel like being here for a long time, but I know she was doing some training. Did you ask her? Because I didn't hear like 2 of the questions when I was dialing in. Did she say that she's got a fight coming up too?
Not her, but she's training the kids that are going over to Dubai.
Okay. Yeah, I wonder when she getting in the ring. So I remember the last time she was here, she said that she was, and I'm pretty sure. And I thought it was a date that was supposed to be coming up.
She did say she was gonna fight?
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
Really?
So, yeah. And so I didn't know if there was something happened because I wasn't, remember I was off of IG for a little while, so I didn't see nothing posted because I wasn't there. So I'm thinking, all right, well, maybe this shit already happened or something got postponed or something, but yeah. Let's see. Yeah. We shall see. What's next? What up, Noah GX? He said, Japan, always in the building. Happy birthday. Appreciate you, Noah GX. Yeah, somebody my show.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Yeah, we work together.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, like teamwork.
Okay.
Like, let's do this.
Got it. Got it. See if you got that dollar test. See if you got that dollar test.
Let's get some of this. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Hola, my boy.
anyhow, while he's doing that, how was y'all with y'all kids? I mean, how was y'all today? Out of curiosity, I know people had today was like national take your kids to school first day of school day. You know what I mean? Pretty much. I think next week too. Next Monday and this Monday are pretty much the 2 Mondays where you take your kids to school. So yeah, it's pretty dope, man. Pretty dope, man. And if you're into guns, lock into the you won't be disappointed. What's up? I ain't no boxing. What's up, man? Though I really want to get into that Conwell stuff, but obviously we ain't got time tonight. That's disgusting, DB. That Charles Conwell. Did you hear what I said earlier about that?
Yeah,
that's disgusting. Another disgusting thing. Just boxing is just disgusting, man. That deserves as much attention. Oh, your kids growing around. That deserves as much attention as the WBA. You know, it's not going to get as much, obviously, but man, they just faking injuries and to get out of fights, and you know, and he had no remorse. He was basically attacking his promoter, you know. So yeah, man, I'm gonna talk about it tomorrow. I'm gonna find time to talk about it tomorrow. McWaters is his name. I think McWaters is Teofimo Lopez's manager, right? I know it's not new, but now we got evidence. Shout out to Fred Price. It's it's just awful to see and hear, you know, that you know, it is what it is, man. So, you know.
Yeah, no, it didn't go through, Brody.
Yeah, I know it ain't no. It didn't? I sent the bug. I must see. That's why I always send a test.
Sorry. Yep. I just put that. Look at the cash app that I just put in there. So $, Jesse PHILLPS.
JESSIE.
Yeah.
PHILLPS. Yeah, I sent the $. Oh, it's pending. That's why it's pending. It didn't go through yet. Yeah. All right. We'll do one beam and Kyle want to beam in, then we'll get the hell out of here. And, come on, Kyle. What you want, man? I don't know why it's pending, but yeah.
Oh, Kyle. Said I'm hungry.
Oh man, facts. But
in the meantime, y'all can go over there, man, and subscribe to the channel. And for some people who subscribe you to see any of the old videos, man, y'all can go back and hit the thumbs up, comment on some of the old stuff. I did some fight predictions, you know, a year ago, a year and a half ago, whatever. See how those predictions went. And if y'all like that, then I'll do some more. And when it comes to MMA fights, listen, in terms of a fight, yeah, of course, listen, you know, nobody's, well, I don't know, I'm not perfect with calling them, but if there's a 12 fight card, I'm going to get 8 or 9 fights right. I might get 3 or 4 wrong. But listen, if you're betting and you're following what I'm saying, and I don't even bet big money, I bet little money, but I always win on every card. Always up on every single card. Yeah. I think maybe one time where the card was all fucked up and I probably went like 50-50, but for the most part, yeah, I know what I'm looking at. I know what I'm going to see, know what I expect. And it works out. You know, I can't do the same with boxing. With boxing, I try to do that, and it should just don't work out. But if it's MMA,
boxing,
it goes down.
It's still pending. That's weird.
Well, you know, we'll figure that out. But Rose O said Cannonier and Gastelum will be dope this weekend. Man, that's gonna be a good one, man. If Gastelum comes in and does what he can do, if he boxes and he wrestles, if he gets a takedown and he can stay on top of Jared Cannonier for one round, he can win that one round. But Cannonier is such a crafty fucking dude, and he's so strong. You know, being a heavyweight, light heavyweight, and then a middleweight. You know, this is a dude that's used to fighting big old dudes, so he's strong. If his injury is completely healed and he's like really ready to fight, then I'll pick Cannonier to win that fight. But if Gastelum can mix his boxing and his wrestling, like I said, and get some takedowns and work his top game for a bit, then he may win a decision. But I don't see Gastelum finishing Cannonier unless he catch him like he caught Bisbing. Well,
yeah, it's still pending, so I don't know what's wrong with it. So, but anyways, I guess Kyle not coming in, man. Kyle asked for the link, he ain't coming in. But Kyle been going good, man. He got these shows at 11, man. He happy. He happy. He's happy.
Yeah, I mean, he falls asleep half the time, but the other times, man, Santos will be in there, man. And the OG Santos will be holding it down for 5-6 hours.
Damn. Yeah. Facts. But yeah, tomorrow I really want to talk about Charles Conwell. Tomorrow, I want to just cheating epidemic. I know, and I believe it is an epidemic. I'm, you know, I didn't want to believe it, I guess, you know, but now I'm under suspicious. I got suspicious eyes over everything now. I don't think nothing's clean in this sport anymore at this point, you know. So
I don't think it's suspicious now, Brody. I think it's confirmed. You know,
yeah.
you hear guys,
it's confirmed.
You know, admissions of guilt and guys telling on themselves.
Yeah.
You know, shit, it ain't speculation no more. Like the Canelo thing, like this ain't speculation. Like it's been proven through the reports, through the science, through the blood work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he's been suspended.
Right.
And he said he admitted, like, yes, this is in me, but it's because of the meat that I consume. And all of a sudden now these guys talking about fat burners and diuretics. Yeah, people don't even know who they be talking to, man. And I just sit back and laugh, like, man, go ahead, man. Continue doing your song and dance. A good monkey show. But yeah, it's proven. So also, man, tomorrow is Phantom Brawler's birthday, man, and also Mir celebrating his birthday. I believe Mir's birthday was yesterday, man. So, and OG Showed More had a birthday a couple of days ago too, man. So shout out to them brothers, man, and happy birthday to them dudes too.
Yeah, happy birthday to all. And to all a good night. And to all of you.
You ready to put it up and tie it up, man?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah, let's tie it up.
All right, cool, man. Shout out to to Coach Cam and her team for coming through.
Thank you, Coach Cam.
Giving us definitely giving us some entertainment. We appreciate that, man. And salute to all of the brothers and sisters that came through. Yeah, this bullshit Cash App ain't working, but you know, whatever, man. The love is important too. Appreciate all the greetings and the well wishes and shit. My phone been blowing up, man, through the text messages all day long, and the Instagram, all of that shit been popping. So everybody been saying happy birthday, appreciate it. You know, JJ, Big Lloyd, Champion Heart, so on and so on. Of course, all of the South Central crew, and yeah, man. So this is a good day. You know, kids back in school, shit going well, man. So this is great. And now it's time for us to bounce, rock, skate, kick rocks.
Yeah, just text me when you get that. Text me when you get it.
Yeah, okay, I
sure.
definitely will.
Yep.
But then C Jones 0224 said happy birthday, DB, man. Appreciate you. Mr. Blue, my cousin on there, man. YV in the building. Shout out to Yo. He said happy birthday. Appreciate you. Jaquan Pickett, aka JP, aka JQ, aka Young Pick. Salute to you, man. Thank you. The Messenger 215. He said happy born day to Marcus Garvey. Rip, yeah. The OG Marcus Garvey on the 17th. That's right. NO Box in the building. He said peace, brothers. Dr. Hook done slid in here. He said clenbuterol also increase lean muscle mass and energy, not just weight loss. Dr. Hook, I already know, man. I just, you know, let people just talk about it for a minute, and then when they go back and watch the show and listen to themselves, they're gonna say, "Man, I should have just took that L in peace, man, and just went on about my business." Shout out to my brother Jay Dixon in the building, Roos O, salute Ryan Jackson, SLC in the building. Shout out to Utah, Mark Wonderlick representing, Robert Brown in the building, T Bell. What up, Taylor? Salute Eastside DJ 313, Dave Jack in the barbershop, rain clouds in here. The Village Brother, my big brother Champion Heart in here. Salute to you as well. Hotep Shalom back in the building. He said admission of guilt, shaking my head. You know, that's what it is, man. Mr. Vegas in the building, the boxing section, TBS, Cousin Kyle, what up with you? We in here, Money in the Ghetto. Salute to you, peace and thank you. Maurice McElroy in the building. He had the chat lit. He was going off on them dudes who was tap dancing in here, man. It was good. King Kenline, King KJ in the building. Salute. And all the California brothers. Troy in the building. What up, Troy? My cousin D-Man Jr. in the building, sending out his well wishes too. Noah GX, man. He said, good job. Yeah, we in here, man. And yes, it's a good thing, man. It's a good time. Let's see. Batman Boxing Talk done jump back in with us. Matrix R. My cousin Eric R. done jumped in here too. Let's see. Who else we got? Jay Gibson, Rob G. Film.
Yeah.
Who else? Brian G. Man, it's going down. And the chat's still lit, man.
Yeah, the chat's because it's early. It's like, man, I got an hour and a half full of more energy. You know what I mean? But let me tell y'all, man, I ain't gonna lie. It made a world of a difference in my morning. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. I wouldn't lie to y'all. Man, I was like, man, I got up at 6 o'clock and I was like, and I just stayed in bed because I wanted to. I was up though. I was ready to rock and roll, you know. But yeah, man, and enjoy it over there at the box. I'm gonna listen for a second. Don't show the movie though. Don't show the movie. You can talk about it. Don't show it though. You know what I mean? We need people to go buy it. You know what I mean? Don't give it to them for free over there. But yeah, man, appreciate you. Don't.
Hold on, bro.
Yeah. Don't show it to them. But we could talk about it all day. I'll be listening. I'll be in bed watching y'all as I do always, man. And
I'll be eating, man, and listening for a little while, man. Shout out to Timothy Robertson in the building. Robertson, salute to you, man. And somebody else, who else came through? Anthony Ingram, man. Appreciate you, Anthony. Man, we in the barbershop, man. We're going to slide over to Kyle's and listen in for a little bit, man. And then we're going to be back here in less than 24 hours. Until then, man, stay strong, stay into boxing and be true fans, and cut the bias bullshit. Peoples Hernandez, we waiting on you to drop them 5 mics.
Gotcha. We got a late cash app. I just saw it pop up on my. How did I get a cash app and it's still pending? That's weird. How is my? I don't think it's that dollar gonna go through. For Linroy supporting the show, thank you. EDLAUS. Thank you, man. Edloss. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you. See, I just got a cash app, but I can't. Yours not going through. So, anyways, we'll figure that out later. All right. Just text me when you get it. And yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm gonna go to. This is where I am destined. People Hernandez in the building. Ready to give up the fight.
People Hernandez. Shout out to People Hernandez and drop them 5 on it.
Oh, it just went through. She just accepted it. Right? Is you good? Is that right? Ask Jessica.
Hey, it just went through the voting.
All right, cool. All right, got it.
You know that the best things are never instant. Just shine up, let them see the brilliance. Get up, open up your eyes now. It's the moment of truth. You, no backing down. We're bringing it to life. Oh, for the children, it's a given. You gotta give.
All right, you should be set.
Rob
G, this is my personal statement. Run the game like I'm Ace. As you turn to be the greatest, yeah. Bobbing and weaving and changing up like the season. Indigenous to the grind, so I do it for all my people.
Having the competition, back up against the ropes. You fighting for recognition. I'm fighting just to promote equality where we lack it. While cancer slowing our road, I'm confident we'll make it. We focus on common.
So you gotta give back, give love. No, to fight. Cash App DB, it's his birthday. Hey, take him shopping, Jess. Take him shopping. Take them shopping, man. Give them some fitted. Give them some. Take them to H&M. Take them to H&M. H&M tomorrow. You get great deals there. Oh man. What happened? What happened?
No, you said something fitted. You didn't think you had a good joke and didn't even catch your own joke.
Oh, I caught it. Yeah. Okay, all right, man. Don't buy the slide. All right, love y'all, man. I just cash after DB, so you should be good. All right,
you, bro.
All right.
Peace and love, family.
Aaron got 2 million views on his latest fighter, co-main event fighter left with only 20. Damn, 25,000 niggas just get ran over. Love y'all, man. Love y'all. Happy birthday, DB. Happy birthday. Love y'all, man. Thank y'all, man.